Hello. So, I just wanted to show you a little bit. I know you're at a point now where you understand most of our compensation plan. And once you hit green, or you start getting team members that start hitting green, then you're going to start noticing that things change a little bit. So, I just wanted to do a quick little video and show you guys what it is about green, orange, purple, and black, because right now you're at a point where you've already gone through the first 4 levels and you probably understand them quite well. So let's talk a little bit about green elite leadership status. So I'm just going to scroll up. Alright, so here's green. I'm showing you, what am I showing you? September 2014, and I got October up here too. So let's talk. So with green, what happens is, as you know, or as you probably know, you break off from your, you know what, let's show you actually my actual thing for September. Let's get that popping up there. Okay, there, now that's easy. Okay, so you can see, with green, your company wholesale requirement is $10,000 in company sales. You need to have 3 qualified first level presenters. You know what that means. Circle wholesale sales is 2,000. So this is where you're going to start seeing that you have another level that you need to reach. So it's 2,000 in circle sales. So that means if you have any greens on your team, because they have broken off from you, because they have broken off from you, you now have to get a amount of money in sales aside from your greens. So let's scroll down a little bit so you can see what I'm talking about here. Alright, so in September you can see my circle wholesale sales is $34,000. So that is what my team has done minus all my green people. So I have a couple, and so my whole company is 94,000, which is huge. You guys rock. Side note. But my actual, aside from my greens, my actual circle sales is 34,000. Okay? So when you're green, you will get paid 30% on your personal retail sales. So what happens is you first get 25%. You'll notice that that's the same when you get your commissions and you get your pay quicker emails. Your pay is still the same. They pay you the extra 5% to equal 30% on your retail royalties after. So that comes out on the 5th of the month when you get your royalties. So this will all be filled in with numbers at that point. So green is 5% on your circle. And you can actually get 3% if you have other greens on your first generation. So that would be this here. So that would be 5% on your circle and 3% on your green team's circle sales. Does that make sense? So orange, the requirement is that you need to have 1 first generation green elite. First generation green elite. So you need to have somebody that you personally recruited turn green. Plus you have to have 20,000 in company sales for your entire downline, and you have to have 4,000 of sales outside of your greens, which is your circle. So in order to reach orange, that's what you need. Here's the beauty. Once you hit orange, you get 5,000 on your circle. You get 3,000 or 3%. Should I say 5,000? That's confusing. 5% on your circle sales, you get 3% on your first generation, and you will get 4% on your second generation. So that is awesome. So you're thinking, that's kind of sucky that we lose money when people hit green. And yes, it's true. It does suck. I'm not going to lie. But in the long run, and because we're in the business where we're wanting to be thinking about future, it pays off so much better for us in the future, because our biggest part of our tree, which would be our third generation, because if you're imagining, a tree, it's going to get bigger at the bottom, right? As more people add, the bottom grows, it grows. We're going to get 5% on that. So our biggest, widest part is where we're capitalizing the most amount of money. So it's actually worth very, very awesome. Very awesome. I'm terrible at English today. Okay. So that's green and orange. So purple, we need to have 2 first generation leads. This is why we always tell everybody to get with your rock stars. Find your people that you know are going to be turning green and work with them to get to that point. Because when they get to that point, you also get to succeed and move forward, which is awesome. That's another great thing about our compensation plan. We all kind of grow together. So for purple, you need to have $500 in personal sales. You need to have $40,000 in company sales. It's right here, company sales, and it does grow quite quickly. Once you hit green, and you've got the numbers, and you've got the team growing, and you've got everybody building, it starts going like crazy, like popcorn. Like, it just starts going nuts. Green and above, it's just crazy time. So, these are scary numbers. When I first joined, I was like, holy crap, there's no way I'm going to reach 40,000. Well, I did it within 7 months or so. So it's pretty awesome. It does grow quickly, I promise you. So you need to have 4 qualified first level presenters. We know what that means. Circle wholesale sales, you need to have $6,000 outside of your green. And you need to have 2 first generation greens. So what you get when you hit purple is pretty similar to orange. You don't get anything. You don't get any extras in the generation levels, but you do get an extra percent on your circle sales. So that's pretty sweet, because if you look, I've really built up a lot of people in my actual circle, and that's only because I personally recruit a lot. I've spent a lot of time training and personally recruiting people. So you can see in my September, 34,000, I will get 6% just on that. That's over $2,000 just in royalties and just that alone. So that's purple, and black. What we need is 4 first generation elites. So that is what I was kind of short on in September, was the black, or was the 2 more first generation elites. So that's why I tell you, kind of learn from my mistakes and get with your rock stars and help them get to a green promotion level. And it's good too, because once people hit green, that's when they're leaders, and that's when they can kind of take the reins on their own team, so to speak. So we lose a little 2% on them, but you're giving them more control over their own team. So the idea is hopefully you're working less with your greens, because they're leaders at this point. Their training is complete. So now it's just about chatting with them and connecting with them. So yeah, for black, and this is why black is awesome, is we get paid 5% on our 3rd generation. So it's this exact same idea as purple. We get 6% on our circle, and we get 5% on our 3rd. 4% on our second, 3% on our first, and the company sales is right here, so you can see how much everybody has sold as a company. So what you need for Black is 500 personal retail sales. You need to have $80,000 in PRS, and yes, mine pretty much doubled from the month before. So that's how fast it grows. Qualified first level presenters is the same as purple, and you need to have 10,000 in circle wholesale sales. So outside of your greens, you need to have $10,000 in sales. Which, if you're recruiting and you're personally recruiting, and you're constantly growing and growing, that's an easy number to reach. Believe me, it sounds crazy, it sounds hard, but it's so, it happens just like that. Like, it's just, this company just blows my mind that way. So, as you can see, actually in September, my daily sales was around the $2,500 mark as a company. I kept looking every day. There was about $2,500 in sales. This month, we're only on the 2nd, and it's only 5 o'clock. And we're already sitting at $88,500, which is crazy. So this month is going to be huge. October is just bananas. Alright, so hopefully that explains a little bit. I'm going to post this for you guys. And, if you have any questions, you know where to find me. Alright, thanks. Bye.